This is gonna be a good one, dudes. Welcome to Across the Pond, podcast where I speak to people from around the world. Today I get to speak with Liam. Just a bunch of memes, dude. This one was really fun to do. We just laughed a majority of the time. It was really good. I think this is actually one of the first ones that I've done with video. I mean, I didn't record it with video, but we chatted with our cameras on. And it was cool. You know, like, I know that some people aren't really going for the whole idea of like, oh, I don't want to show myself to a stranger, but I personally don't care if you want to or not. Like, if you want to, awesome. But Liam, he's just like, hey, here's my face. And I was like, sick. Well, here's mine. It was cool. You know, it was nice to have a conversation with someone face to face, if you will, or screen to screen, whatever it is. But it was fun. You know, this one's a good meme of an episode. I loved it. Hello?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, mate. Let me just change my name. I just realised my name is still the same. We did like a work quiz the other week through Zoom.
Okay.
I started the team name as my name on here.
Oh, that's all good. No worries whatsoever. I mean, like, when you joined, I was like, wait, who? It said your name, or not your actual name. I was like, wait, is this the right person that I sent the email to? Because last night I was supposed to speak to someone, and for some reason I got you and that person confused. And so when I sent you the link, I was like, oh, shoot. Like, I've been sitting here for like 15 minutes. Long story short, the other person didn't come in, which is okay. But I was like, crap, man. Like, I hope I sent the email to the right person this time.
Well, I'm sorry I'm running a bit behind. So we had this work call set up since last week for 1 o'clock this afternoon. And then about 10:30 today, they're like, okay, we need to push this back till about 4:15. I was like, okay, that's fine. Gives you plenty of time. Should only take half an hour.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
No,
I can see like it's getting closer and closer to 5. And bear in mind, we clock off at 5. So I'm like, you know, I'm ready for this to end now. Hurry this along.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I mean, like, here's the thing. I've had so many things that have come up to where I've had to completely reschedule to complete different dates and pushback stuff. So it's all good. No worries. I mean, here's the thing. At least you communicated to me that you're going to be late and you didn't just like not say anything. Because I've had a lot of people recently who I've been emailing and they just don't get back to me. And then they're like, hey, man, where's the link? And I'm like, wait, what? Like, you didn't even say what's going on. Like, so thanks for at least saying, hey, I'm going to be a bit late. I'm more than fine with that. The only thing I got going on today is in about, 2.5 hours, I want to be watching the Chelsea game. So that's about all I got going on. Yeah.
Chelsea fan?
Yeah.
Wow,
big Chelsea fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
The second guy I spoke to that's a Chelsea fan, that's like an American guy recently. I was doing another podcast called Broken Heads the other week, and they're from near Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the guys off there was like, he follows Premier League, was like, yeah, I'm a Chelsea fan. I was like, why?
Yeah, it's a really funny story. When I was in high school, one of my teachers was really, really into Chelsea, and he really liked watching them for whatever reason at the time. I can't remember why. And he got another teacher to go on board, not hop on the bandwagon. This was before they beat Bayern Munich in the Champions League final all those years ago.
Okay.
And you know, they just started liking it, and it became a big giant meme before memes were really a thing. And everyone was just, you know, making fun of this teacher. And then he invited me, my brother, and a few other guys that he was kind of close with to go watch one of the Champions League games. It was just, I think it was against PSG or something like that. I can't remember. And when we watched it, I just really enjoyed watching them play. There was something about the players that I liked, and the way that they played. I just really enjoyed it. I couldn't tell you what it was or how they played. I just remember really enjoying it because it was, you know, a long time ago. But ever since then, I've really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed watching them play, and it's been really sad to watch the team unfold the way that they have the last couple of years.
So this was this about when you had Drogba, I'm guessing.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Time. Was this back when you had like Drogba?
Yeah.
You were a good side then.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Lampard being sacked?
So if I'm being honest, I feel like he was kind of thrown into a really bad situation. You know, it was right when they got the transfer ban, so they couldn't sign anyone, and then not to mention they had not a very strong side. I mean, like they had a few players, but it just wasn't a very strong team. And then he was thrown into it, and he had to try and rely on a lot of the youth players, which I feel like was a smart move, but at the same time, they're youth players, and he brought on a lot of them. And I just don't think that if he was thrown into a different position and he could actually buy players and sell players, and he actually was thrown into with a pretty decent team, I feel like he could have been a really good manager. Things were starting to swing a little bit right before he was sacked, but there were still times where it was like, what are you doing? Like, why are you playing the way that you're playing? Why are you playing these players and not other players? And I'm like, I love Frank Lampard. He's a legend at the club, but it's still like, what in the world, bro? Like, come on, get it together, win some games. I'm excited to see Thomas Tuchel though, because I mean, there's been a lot of promising things coming from him. So I'm hoping that we can at least make it top 4 and try and recover this season, even though the season as a whole has been scuffed.
Yeah, it's
been something.
Tuchel's a good manager though.
Yeah,
I think if you get some playing right, who have you got tonight?
If I'm being honest, I don't know. I haven't looked at it yet. Because I've only been up for maybe an hour and a half or something like that.
Oh yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine. It's what time is it right now? 9:30 in the morning, and
God.
I usually get up really early because of work. And I've been trying to keep that, but today I decided to sleep in a little bit because last night was a late night, and so I'm just kind of waking up, getting in the swing of things, trying to mess around my computer to wake myself up and drink coffee and everything. But I'm excited to watch them play. I can't even remember who they're playing. I should know this.
It's Newcastle. You'll
Newcastle. That's right. Yeah, we'll dominate. Hopefully,
if you don't beat them, then Tuchel should be sacked. Put it that way.
I mean, true actually, because Newcastle's been in a huge slump.
Yeah,
huge slump.
Definitely.
Yeah, you sound very knowledgeable about football. Who do you support?
I'm a Man United fan.
Oh my gosh!
I'm not particularly knowledgeable, to be fair. I love football to bits. I love Man United to bits, but you listen to my dad, or it's like, look, football fans in general will be like, "Oh, I remember this goal. I remember this goal. I remember this game." I just don't retain that information unless it's like a spectacular goal or something that's like absolutely scandalous. I just don't remember stuff, and I've followed it my whole life. I just doesn't stick in my head for whatever reason.
Do you feel?
Go on.
I was going to ask, do you feel like that's something that just kind of, and this is going to sound weird, but hear me out. Do you feel like that's just something that's always been a thing when it comes to almost any kind of subject, like a short-term memory thing, or do you feel like it's just football?
I don't know, because if you give me like a movie or something like that, I'll remember. I'll remember details that I shouldn't do, and sometimes like I'll see a spoiler for a film that I won't watch for like years until years later. And I'll remember that little detail that I read on Reddit ages ago or whatever. Yeah. It's so strange. I really don't know what it is.
It's funny that you say that because I'm kind of the same way. Like I remember when what was it? The new Star Wars saga or whatever came out a couple years ago with Kylo Ren and all of them. I saw a spoiler for it, and I didn't watch it right away, and I completely forgot about it until I literally sat down to watch the movie, and I was like, wait, doesn't this happen? And sure enough, it happened. And it's just like, oh man, that sucks. but I know what you mean. It kind of sucks how some things like for example, with football, you might want to retain that information or something like that, but you just can't. It's weird. Yeah, I'm that way.
I don't know if it's I watch, and I don't even watch that much of it really. Like, I love football to bits, but I don't really watch games that don't involve United very often.
Okay.
So I've literally no explanation for it. But like films, I'll just like this quiz that I had this team name for last week. There was a film round, and I was reeling off stuff from films I'd never even seen. I just kind of recognized like, oh, these actors are in here, and it's this sort of picture. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's Cape Fear. I don't know, whatever the film was. It's Senna. I've never seen Senna in my life, but I knew what it was straight away. It's like a Rain Man sort of reconnaissance that I get with it. It's so strange.
That's interesting. So explain this to me, because of course I'm over here in the States. I'm as far away from you as probably possible. I'm over in Seattle, and that's pretty far. How do people from Manchester decide if they want to be a United fan or a City fan?
It depends when they were if they were born like 10 years ago, then they're probably going to want to be a City fan, to be fair.
True, true.
It's also to do with I'm not from Manchester. I'm from about an hour south of Manchester. It's not too far away, but I was raised on it. So
Okay.
that was a United fan. The family is United fans. So even if I had a choice, I didn't get that choice, but I would have been a United fan.
Gotcha.
But I think it's a lot of family. As I say, there's like I've got like cousins with kids and stuff now, and they're growing older. They're like just south of 10. And so they're like, Man City or Liverpool, these teams that are they're just starting to get into football, so they naturally gravitate into these teams that are doing really, really well now or recently.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's maybe part of it. If they're coming from not necessarily big football supporting families, whereas I think a lot of it is okay. Well, if you're from Manchester and your dad supports City, then he's an idiot, but you're probably going to support City as well. If your dad supports United, then he's a smart man,
Gotcha.
and he should also support United. That's probably all it is.
Gotcha. So I thought it was maybe like a locale thing, like for example, let's just say the north side is a City fan and the south side is a United fan. I thought maybe it was something like that.
There might be a little bit of that, but I mean, United have got so much history.
True.
They're the bigger club, and City are getting bigger and bigger and bigger since they got the investment. I don't know however many years ago now.
Yeah,
they're getting bigger, and the fan base is getting bigger naturally because they're starting to win things. So maybe it's just a part of okay. Well, United had that, but I don't know, 20 plus years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of that's only going to carry on and grow to an extent. Whereas, City are just starting to get that maybe. So they're probably, if someone lives across the road from the Manchester City Stadium, then they're probably be a bit mean to support United.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they should.
They should. I've just never been a fan of Man United. My mom is a fan. Well, here's the thing. We started playing football when we were really young, my brothers and I. And then growing up, we never really knew that we could watch it. It was just one of those things where we thought that we knew that there were teams, but we just never really got into watching it. And it wasn't until when I was probably early teenager, probably 13 or 14 or something like that. I was on a trip. I think I was at State or something like that, going to play in a big tournament. And one of my, I guess they were, what would you consider them? Hotel roommates or whatever, Yeah, like you just kind of get thrown into a room with a bunch of guys. One of them was watching, I think it was like a Blackpool or something like that, or Blackburn game. One of those teams, one of the Pool or Burns, whatever, one of them. And it was like a rerun or whatever, but they were watching it. And I was like, you can watch the games? And he's like, yeah, you didn't know that? And I was like, I guess I just never really thought about it because I knew that there were teams. And then ever since then, we started watching and everything. We would kind of just throw whatever was on, like Saturday mornings or Saturday evenings for you guys. We would just throw whatever game was on and we were just watching and enjoying. My mom was like, oh, I really like this Alex Ferguson guy. And I really like Wayne Rooney. And I'm like, shut up, Mom. Like, it's Manchester United. Why would you go for them? They always win. Because this was during the time where they were just dominating. And it was like, come on, pick someone else. I think I was a Queen's Park Rangers fan.
Your mom.
No.
She's a smart lady.
No. We're not going to. No. All right. Manchester United. I don't understand how they were at the top of the table just recently because they were doing so bad this season. I was actually talking with my buddy who's a Liverpool fan who lives up in Canada. So, him and I kind of, we talk a lot because we like to watch games at the same time. But, he's a big Liverpool fan. I'm a Chelsea fan, so somehow that works. It shouldn't, but it does. But we were talking, and we were like, I don't understand this season. One, because, it's such a weird season just in general because of COVID and everything and all the restrictions and how games are getting postponed to midweek and all this just strange stuff. But at the same time, Manchester United, they were not talked about for such a long time, and I felt like they were honestly just not performing very well. And then all of a sudden, they're at the top of the leaderboard, top of the table by like 5 points a couple weeks ago. I was, what? How did that happen? I can't believe that it happened. I was so baffled.
So United go in phases where they'll either get results and play well, or they'll not play particularly well but still get results. And they'll do this. They've done this for the past couple of years, but they'll do it for a few weeks, gain some momentum, and then all of a sudden it just stops. And that's what's happening right now. They are just stopped. They're playing. You can swear on this. Are we recording?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Was that? Yeah. Well, you said you can edit stuff. They're playing shite right now. They're so bad at the moment.
They are really bad, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, but even when they were playing well a few weeks ago, I still can't. I never dare get myself into like excited anymore about United. I
Really?
don't. I've got blinders on. I'm like, no, I'm not playing that well. Like I'm constantly picking stuff, probably just to dampen the disappointment that I'm probably going to get. Like, I know I'm going to get in 3 weeks' time when they start playing awful all of a sudden again, because that's just the United way at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's also kind of the Chelsea way. I mean, we were doing really well when Mendy came in as a goalkeeper. We were actually doing really well under Lampard, and then all of a sudden one day it just flipped, and I think we lost to Burnley by like 2 or 3 goals or something stupid like that. And then all of a sudden it's like, kind of a little bit of a swing, but it's still like we're like, when you think of Chelsea, you kind of think of Man United in the same sense that like they're both pretty big teams. So you would assume that if Chelsea was playing someone along the likes of Fulham or someone who just is at the bottom of the table, they would, have their way with them and smack them around a little bit. But we're not doing that. We're maybe winning by a goal in the 80th minute, and it's like we should be dominating. We shouldn't be getting just one goal, against these lower-sided teams. It's like it's such a weird season, man. I really hope that it ends soon. Just because I want the next season to start, because I want to see everything back to normal.
See, that's the beauty of the Premier League, though, is that even the crap teams can still like dog out a result if they really wanted to. Like they can, you still get upset sometimes, and it's great.
Yeah, no, they're like, I'll say this, and I have a few other things I want to talk about, so I'll move away from football, but. It's if you've paid attention at all, at least to some of the other teams the past couple of weeks, there have been some strange upsets. Like super weird, just out of the blue upsets. Like Liverpool lost to this might have been about a month ago, but Liverpool lost to like Brighton.
Yeah.
And just like super weird, underdog teams just coming out and beating big teams at home. It's like, what is going on with the Premier League? It's so strange.
But the frustrating thing is, so obviously Liverpool are not playing well at the moment.
Yeah.
And there's circumstances, but there's circumstances for every club. And this might date the podcast, but the other day, so Liverpool got beat by Leicester, which was great. And Liverpool's own fault as well. They made mistakes, and it was, as a United fan, was amazing. I've got friends who are Liverpool fans. Give them so much stick. Only for United then the next day to draw with West Brom, which are probably the worst team in the league. And like, that was a worse result than Liverpool losing at Leicester. Yep. It happens so often where, you'll give some stick and then you're like, oh, why have I done this? This is karma. Karma is coming to bite me in the ass like straight away.
It's so true. I mean, the only way that you're going to have any sort of like, happiness or joy from the Premier League is if you're a bandwagon Manchester City fan at the moment, because they seem to just win. I don't know what it is. Even when they don't have De Bruyne or Aguero or any of their huge star players, they still just have their way, smack people around. They just do what they want. No one gives it a second thought. It's just like, okay, dude, like you do you. I want to see City not win. If anything, I hope Manchester United win, just because I don't want City to win, because
Me too.
They have yeah, of course you do. It's just, Man City is such a cocky team, and I don't like Raheem Sterling. There's something about that man that just tilts me to the ends of the earth, man. Like, he's so cocky, it's insane.
It's weird as well, because he's so frustrated. Like, take the City aspect out of it. Let's look at it from an England national team point of view. He's so good, but so frustrating to watch, because he's so, like, you can see the class there to take him to like the next level and be like a world beater effectively. Yeah. And he just, certainly when he's playing for England, he just doesn't quite get there, and it's so annoying. When he plays for City, I'm more than happy with that, because I'm the same as you. I don't like him either.
Yeah.
They're a good side though.
Yeah, no, that's true. I really enjoyed him when he was on Liverpool. I really liked old school Liverpool with Sterling and Luis Suarez. I really, really enjoyed watching them play, and I was actually really disappointed when they didn't win the league that one year, all because I think it was Chelsea. I think Steven Gerrard slipped. Steven Gerrard slipped Demba Ba got the ball scored, and that was the reason that Liverpool lost the title that year. So, that makes me feel kind of good. But it was, it's like I said, it's such a strange season, man. Like I hope that next season is a little different, or at least more back to normal than this season because of, COVID and everything. But how, like, honest question, how are the vaccines and everything being rolled out there? Like, are things kind of moving forward, or are people still like, I don't know what the word would be, but are people still kind of like reserved about it all, or like what's going on?
No, it seems to be going well. So we're kind of a little bit in limbo at the moment. So the PM Boris has got an announcement on the 22nd, and then we'll learn a little bit more. So we're currently in lockdown, if anyone else doesn't know. Vaccines have started to roll out, and it's going to at-risk people, so elderly people first and foremost, quite rightly. Mm-hmm. And then it's kind of coming down in the age groups, it seems. So it looks like everything that's been reported on the news is that, although there's no official confirmation, that targets have been hit, and they wanted to get this X many done by 15th of February, X many have been done. Big tick, great stuff. So in another week's time, we're expecting an announcement. And then there's rumors flying around today, actually, that sort of early mid-March is when we'll start seeing schools reopening, and then we might be able to integrate outdoors. And then if that goes well, then they'll potentially reopen some like stores and stuff like that, and start to go back to a little bit normal. So I don't know. I think if I don't know, it's really hard to say. It seems to be going on the right track in terms of like people who are getting vaccinated and the timescale for that. That seems to be going really well. Like I've got family that are high risk, and my dad's just got vaccinated 3 weeks ago now. Nice. So yeah, I'm really happy for that.
Yeah.
And you're hearing of other people that that they've been vaccinated. So certainly from a personal level, everything seems to be going the right way. Okay. We just want the pubs open. Literally, that's not just me. That's the English way. There's room. They're going to open pubs, but without alcohol, and this is like there's going to be uproar if that's the case. So obviously, it's not funny. But what happened at not the White House? What was it? The Capitol building.
Yeah,
that would happen if they opened the pubs without alcohol.
Wow,
that's probably the level that it'll get to, because we just want a beer. We just want a beer and see mates. That's all we need.
Yeah, that's nuts, man. I mean, it almost sounds like you guys are Irish a little bit, because I know that the Irish love their alcohol. But so, and I just want to reiterate this to make sure I heard you right. They said that they would open the pubs, but without alcohol.
They haven't said that. That's the rumor that's coming from multiple sources. Now, at one point they opened pubs, but only if you could eat a substantial meal. So basically they managed to work it so that a substantial meal was a Scotch egg, which is do you have them over there? It's a battered egg, basically.
I have no clue what that is. I just would assume that based on the size of an egg, that's pretty small.
Yes, it's not particularly substantial, but it's enough. And to be fair, as far as I'm concerned, eating's cheating if you're drinking, so you shouldn't. That's as much as you're allowed. But so they kind of got around it that way. But yeah, the big rumor at the moment is that they might open pubs, but without alcohol.
Is that just to try and
don't bother?
Sorry, say that again.
Just don't bother. Just leave me at home.
Yeah, is that to kind of just try to make people not want to flock towards the bars again? Because it's like, well, if you can't have a pint or whatever, like, why go? I would assume so.
Well, so they opened pubs last year, which is great. But then what we obviously saw was a massive spike, because everyone was going to the pubs, which, to be expected. But then when people drink, then your inhibitions get lowered. You kind of forget that 2 meters is 2 meters, and all of a sudden you're 30 centimeters away. So it built towards a spike. So I get the thinking, but it's just makes back. It's kind of backwards. What you may as well do is just open restaurants. That'd be fine, because you're at a table. Open restaurants, but don't open pubs to. No one goes to a pub and orders an orange juice.
It's got to have some vodka in it.
Yeah. Okay, people do, but they're usually with other people that are ordering something that's not. They're probably the designated driver.
Yeah.
No one wants to be the designated driver.
True. So with your lockdown, because here's the thing, I hate talking about the coronavirus, but I find it interesting just to hear from someone in another country how their country is treating the whole issue. Because over here in the States, like we're trying to roll out vaccines, but there are so many people who are saying, no, I'm not going to get vaccinated because I don't want my kid to have autism or whatever it is, something stupid like that, just some dumb, super uneducated anti-vax propaganda crap, right? But over here, there are still people who are just like refusing to wear masks, when they're in close proximity to other people or whatever. And then you have the people who are literally saying, I don't even want to be in the same room as you, even if we're following protocol. If I'm wearing a mask and you're wearing a mask and we're even farther than I think you said 2 meters, which is 6 feet over here. But, if you're farther than that, like I still don't want to be in the same room. How are people treating it over there? Is it kind of just something that everyone seems like as maybe like a general consensus that people are following, or is it something to where so many people are just done with it, that they're like, whatever, like what's the, the population kind of saying?
Yeah. I mean, speaking on behalf of England, as I'm entitled to do. No, it's generally speaking, I honestly think that people are kind of taking it pretty seriously, and because everyone just wants it done with.
Yeah.
So there are obviously people that will flout the rules or whatever, but for the most part, people are sticking to it and following it. We don't really tend to see, or certainly I don't in my sheltered life, so much of the like anti-vaxxer stands over here. That tends to be more of an Americanized thing that's come over more as a meme than anything else.
Wow, I didn't know that.
With no disrespect, man, it's just I don't really hear about it too much over here.
Huh.
So I've heard of people, like generally elderly people, that don't necessarily want the vaccine, but that's not necessarily because they think it's going to like cause autism or anything like that. They just don't necessarily, they might they're really old. They just don't want to risk their health any further, or they just they might just be like, nah, if it's my time, it's my time.
Yeah.
There may be multiple opinions, but as I say, generally speaking, people are going for the vaccine because they just want to be done with it. And so we can't mix indoors at the moment. I don't know if you're aware of that. We can't, except for if you have like a bubble. So like I might have a kid, or I might be a single parent, so I'm allowed to join one other family. Or I might be just on my own in my house. I'm allowed to join one other family. But outside of that, we can't meet with other people. And for the most part, people are fine. As I say, like if you're walking down the street, like I took the dog for a walk earlier on, and we were down like this little gully or like an alley. And there's obviously there's like a point where like a couple of us went across, and English people generally are nothing if not polite. So that both of us were kind of like at a standoff. We were like, both of us knew we didn't want to go past each other, but we both kind of squeezed as far close to the wall as we possibly could do. And that's just kind of how it's treated. No one's going to kick up too much of a fuss, really. Wow. Like if you're too close, you might say, "Oh, excuse me, do you mind?" Like, yeah, okay. I might say if someone's dead close, I was, "Oh, I'm really sorry. Do you mind just like step back?" Or I'll probably just step back myself.
Yeah.
But no one's pushing back too much. It doesn't seem.
Man, I wish I could live in England just for that reason, because I want to be done with this thing. Honestly, like it's so like, I mean, regardless of what you think about it, I feel like it's just a stupid thing. Like if you're super, against it, or super for, or not for it, or against it, that's a wrong terminology. If you're super cautious about it, or if you're more reserved, like whatever about it, it's like, I think everyone can agree that it's stupid and we just want it to be done. Like I want to go back to normal. I don't want to have to wear this mask, like I deliver for Amazon. And so most of the time I'm having to wear that thing, multiple hours of my day whenever I'm at work. And it's just a nuisance more than anything. Not to mention, as a guy, if you shave a lot, you're going to get ingrown hairs and pimples and stuff like on your neck. And it's just annoying. So I have to let my beard grow out. It's like, I want to go back to normal. And then not to mention, I want to be able to, see my family, or, I want to be able to go to the store. And if I come in contact with someone and we start talking, like if I smile, then it shows that I'm smiling, and you can't not tell that I'm smiling because I have a mask on. I'm someone who's very into it. Like part of the communication thing to me, just in general, is I need to see people's faces, just to kind of be able to tell, you know, how they're responding both
There you go.
verbally. Oh, hey, what's up? Both verbally and non-verbally. But it's really hard for me when they're wearing a mask. I can't see their face. And it sucks because I can't tell if they thought what I said was funny or if they thought what I said was offensive. And I'm like, oh, you know, like I want to go back to normal, brother.
But my thing is, like, I work in retail, so I'm the same as you, and I don't shave a lot, so mine grows out, which then makes the mask itchy, which is the worst thing for me.
Yeah.
But then, because I got my mask covered, if I'm smiling at someone, you can't tell if I'm like smiling because they get like a little bit squinty or looking really suspiciously at them.
Yeah.
It's just the same look, and I just feel bad all the time. Like, I'm going to scowl at people, but actually I'm trying to be friendly, but I'm just like this. So.
Nice. All right, hold on. Give me 1 second. I'll plug in my webcam. Just because I unplugged it because I never use
it. That's right.
know what that's on. Hold
Not
on.
yet.
Start. Is that? Hey, there we go.
Hey, Daniel.
Yo, what's up?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
You've even got a Chelsea bloody.
I do.
Star.
Okay, no. Hold on. So we can go into this if you want, but I was able to study abroad in Germany for a bit, and
Nice.
I was able to travel like all over. Like it was really cool. I went to see Stamford Bridge in London. I was stationed. I was in Germany. That's like where my home was for however long it was. I went to go see the Matterhorn, which is why I have this picture.
Nice.
I went all over Europe, and one of our my wife and I's friends traveled with us before we got married and everything. While we were dating, you know, we would travel by ourselves, and we had a friend that would kind of go around and send us pictures and stuff. And she went to Camp Nou and got me this Barcelona scarf, and I still have yet to hang it up because here, let me see. So I kind of have, you know, I like flags, and so I kind of have flags set up, right? But I don't have much room anywhere else. Sorry, it's like my camera's kind of far away, so it's hard to show you, but
it's all right.
It's like I just don't have much room, so I'm trying to figure out where I can hang this thing up. So it kind of sucks because then I'll have to move everything, but you know.
You're also a fan of multi-purpose tools. You got the Swiss Army knife logo.
Yeah. That's a Swiss flag, brother. The Swiss flag. Yeah, I just love Swiss Army knives so much. But no, I'm a big fan of flags. Like I have every country that I went to, I actually collected their flag. So you know, I have like the is it called the Great Britain flag? Or is it the UK flag?
The British flag.
The British flag. There we go. Because I couldn't find the English flag. You know, I couldn't find England's flag itself. You know, the white with the red cross. I couldn't find that for whatever reason. So I was like, well, I should at least get the British flag. You know, that's better than nothing. And then what is also kind of funny because I also went to Scotland and I went to Scotland and Ireland, so I wasn't able to get a Welsh flag, which sucks. But I got the Scottish
cool
flag
one as well. It's got a dragon on it.
Yeah, I know. I sadly wasn't able to go visit there, which really kind of bummed me out because the way that it worked was I was in class Monday through Friday for 2 weeks, 4 hours a day.
Okay.
And so it was like 8 a.m. to noon. And afterwards, like, it was really nice because we didn't have a lot of homework. It was more so of just like we got graded on discussion, which was really nice. But so
that's the easiest class in the world. And oh my god, as if you took that class like I'm going to be a podcaster one day.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, right? But it was really cool because we would have class for 2 weeks, right? And then on the second week, as soon as we got out on Friday, we were able to travel to wherever we wanted to. That entire next week was dedicated to travel, and then Sunday night. So we would go from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I guess that's 9 or 10 days. And then we would come back Sunday and then go to class again and then rinse, repeat. And so we did that. We were able to travel for 3 different weeks. And so we would cram in, okay, we want to go to this country and this country and this country. So we kind of went England, Scotland, Ireland for 1 week. And then next week was France, Switzerland. And then we went up to Denmark and Sweden. And so we kind of just like took chunks and everything. And so I love my flags, you know? And then I went to Japan. And so, of course, I had to get a Japanese flag, which was beautiful.
I'd love to go to Japan.
It's beautiful.
It's on my bucket list.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I sadly only was able to go to Okinawa, which, I mean, still is technically Japan. But I was actually talking with a gentleman who's living there now. He was born in somewhere in the States, and he moved out to Japan because he wanted to pursue judo. He wanted to pursue like a huge judo thing, and he was really into it for a long time. And he was telling me that people who live on the main island of Japan consider Okinawa to be kind of like the outcast, if you know, kind of, because they're so far away. You know, Okinawa itself is maybe an hour and a half flight or something like that. It's pretty far, but you know, it's just kind of out there. So I was only able to go there and experience that. But Japan itself is beautiful. Like I saw Fuji, bro. Oh, that mountain is something. It is cool. Like flying in and everything. Because like I'll say this and then I'll ask you questions so you can talk. But
I'm interested.
When I was flying in, it was like low cloud cover that day. So you know, like you're flying above the clouds, right? And I'm looking out the window and I see this mountain really, really far off. I'm like, oh, that's probably Fuji. You know, like because I wasn't sure how close Fuji is from the Tokyo Haneda airport, whatever airport that is. And so
you could have gone with any of them, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, sure, he knows what you're talking about."
And so we're coming in, and we go through the clouds, and we get down below the clouds. And, you know, we're coming in, and I look out the window, and Fuji is just right there. And I was like, oh, like that thing is so big and massive. And it's perfect. Like you see the pictures of it, and it looks just like a perfect hill. It literally is that. It's perfect. There's not like weird little jagged edges. It looks like someone it almost looks like a lump of potter's clay, and they kind of just ran their hands down it to smooth it out a little bit. It's so weird. It's awesome. I would definitely suggest going there. Beautiful, man. Yeah. What about Japan though? Like, why travel to Japan?
I don't know what it is. It's just so different from anywhere else, I think. So I've been to England plenty of times, every day. I've been to the States. I've been to, I've traveled some of Asia. Been to Thailand. I've been to Vietnam. But it seems like a weird hybrid of like Eastern and Western in terms of like technology and stuff like that, compared to like go take Vietnam for example. You know, there's places that are quite far back in terms of development, and I'm sure there's places in Japan that are like that as well. But if you take Tokyo for example, Tokyo's really is the place I want to visit. Yeah, it just seems so unlike anything else or anywhere else that's out there. It's just sort of, and I don't know. Obviously, you heard of the band The Killers. Yeah, they did a song years ago called "Read My Mind." I think it was that one, and the video was in Tokyo. And ever since that video, I was like, "This place just looks so good." So I want to go spend a night in one of those the pod beds, which is just like a rack of just single beds. It's just, I don't know. I want to experience that and not understand anything that's happening.
Yeah, no, I would definitely suggest it, because not only is the Japanese like architecture and food and everything just amazing, like their culture is beautiful. Like they're so kind and so polite. There were so many times to where I would go up to someone and be like, hey, you know, like, can you show me where this is at? Like, I'm sorry, I don't speak Japanese. And I would like kind of show them where it was on my phone, and they would just kind of point and be like, that way. And then they would kind of do the little like head bow thing, you know, just to kind of like, you know, symbolize like you're welcome or thank you or whatever it was. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. And then like there was one time, I don't know why this sticks out in my head because it's just such a weird instance, but they drive on your side of the road, not my side, because, you know, we drive on the right, you drive on the left, right? And so naturally, I gravitate toward walking on the right side of the road because that's just what it is, you know, like on the sidewalk and stuff. And of course, because they do things opposite, I should be walking on the left. But I was coming up and I wasn't paying attention. There was this older gentleman that was walking towards me. And I look up and we make eye contact and I smile at him. And then he kind of did the little head bow thing and then smiled and walked to the other side. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, you're so nice, you're so kind. Like, I'm so sorry I'm an ignorant white guy, ignorant white American, but thank you. You know, it's just like that, you know, like age is just age is almost but a number there, you know, like people just do the right thing and they're so kind and generous, and you know, it doesn't matter what their job is, like they're going to be the best that they can be at that. It's just so kind, you know, like they're so awesome. I wish people were more like them. I really do.
It's just a natural respect. You know, it kind of, it doesn't matter who you are, but there's a respect for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's beautiful. I would highly suggest whenever borders open up to go out there, because it really changes your life. Not style. Your idea on life, maybe. I don't know. It opens up your mind. I think that's the best way to put it. So tell me a bit about what you do, if you don't mind. I'm curious because
right now, not a lot.
Okay.
He struggled a second ago. Like literally, so I've just finished. Well, at the start of this, I'd just finished work. You're just waking up.
Yeah.
I've cracked open a beer because I've just finished work. you're getting on the coffee.
Yep. I'm out of it too. Crap.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah, I know. I have to make some.
No, so I have two things that I do that make me interesting, or that I find interesting. And one of them, I play in a band, which is a band called Young Decades.
Oh, sick! All right.
And okay,
I'm sorry. I'm going to Spotify right now. I'm going to look you up.
Check it out. We just released a song 3 days ago. I don't know. However many days ago, whenever this comes out, called "Let Me Down."
Okay.
Which is really good. You should check it out. But we got a bunch of songs on Spotify. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, at Young Decades, whatever.
I'm listening. The keyboard just stopped working.
It's okay. It's fine. And I also am 1/3 of a podcast called Let's Talk About Nothing. Now that you shouldn't go listen to, because I've been pretty like on the level on this podcast on this. That's not a nice thing to listen to. We're not nice people, generally speaking. I'm just trying to put on a brave face, you know, because as I said earlier, I'm the face of England right now. But no, you should go. You know, if people like to listen to people talk about nothing, and that's generally what we do. We review a beer every episode, but that was the idea behind the podcast, to review a different beer, because we wanted to get together and just drink together.
Yeah.
And then we usually have some sort of subject that we'll talk throughout the episode. Sometimes we don't, and we'll just talk for an hour or so. We really enjoy it. It's more like it's a little it's a catharsis for us. It's a little shrink session, I guess, just for us to do. But they're the two things that I do. Other than that, you know, I've just got a dog recently, which has changed my life. You say that, it's not.
I'm sorry. If you don't see me, it's because my monitor just quit working, so I'm trying to fix it, but I'm listening, I promise.
It's no problem at all, don't worry. No, yeah, so I just got a dog as well, which I've always wanted a dog. I've never owned one myself. But my partner Lydia, she's had Labradors as long as she can remember. So we're like, okay, well, been together a few years now. We've got our own house. I think it's time, you know, we're in lockdown. It's a good time to kind of get one as well, because we're around, or I'm around to kind of help. Okay. So we've had her a month now, and she's too far. I say it's not great. I love her to bits. She's ace. It's just, I've never been so tired in my life.
Oh yeah.
Bedtime is my favorite time of the day now. It's weird.
You sound a little old.
I feel it. I feel so old. It eats me so much. Honestly, God, she can go for walks now, which I'm so happy with, because that knackers her out.
Yeah.
Before we could take her for walks, she was just non-stop. Yeah, I was
interesting.
And my partner's just got a new job, so she's
nice.
She's in the office. Yeah, she's really good, really proud of her. But she's in the office. So I'm at home with the dog on my own, like 5 days a week. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to tire her out for as much as I can, so she sleeps as much as she can.
Yeah, just imagine when you. I'm not sure if this is anything that you and your partner have thought about, but imagine having kids and then trying to go through that whole thing. It's totally different than a dog.
We are not. It's harder, if anything. I'm fairly sure we don't have kids. But I'm 99% certain it's harder. But literally, after a week of getting the dog, we looked at each other and both went, I don't think we're ready for kids yet. Like,
That's great. What kind of dog? I think you said it, but I must have missed it.
a Labrador. Black
Labrador. Wow, that's so. I want a dog so bad, man. Like I have so many good memories of my dad. He had so I used to live in Las Vegas, right? And
Oh, nice.
yeah, my dad used to love going hunting when before he moved to Vegas, he lived in Missouri, and he would go hunting, bird hunting, and so he wanted to get a dog. And so he went out to Las Vegas because of a job, got a dog because he wanted to go bird hunting in the middle of the desert. Doesn't really work out, right? And so he had a black lab. And
Honey, I got 6 vultures today.
yeah, exactly. 6 vultures. And so he got this dog for whatever reason, trained her up and everything, and then moved up to Montana so then he can go hunting. And so I lived in Montana for a while. But that dog was something, dude. Like I can remember some of the funny times to where like we'd be sitting there and we would all just be sitting watching TV. She'd be sitting on the bed, kind of in the center of the living room. You'd hear this little like a little puff of air, and then you would just be like, Tana, was that you? And she would lift up her head and kind of look around, and then she would leave because it smelled so bad, and then we would have to leave because it smelled so bad. And it's like, man, I just miss dogs, bro. I just miss having a dog, just kind of. You hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, my computer is dying.
She's like instantly become my best mate. It's weird.
Yeah.
Until she bites me, now I'm like, whoa, I could swing for you.
Until she bites it. I was ready to pop her in the head and say, no, I am your owner. You mentioned briefly about your podcast, so go ahead. Like, what is it? Because I personally never heard of it. So,
well, you never heard of it yet.
Yeah, true. Yet.
Yeah, no, we the podcast is something we've been wanting to do this for years, and we started it last year. Oh my god, it might be longer. So this is him with Corona. I'm so far out. We started recording probably 18 months to 2 years ago. We released back in June. So we banked up loads and loads of episodes, and we're like, okay, well let's we read that the best thing to do was bank a load of episodes and then release with like 10 or so.
Yeah.
So eventually we released in June, I think, last year. So we're maybe 6 months in. Obviously longer than that. Mm-hmm. My math is awful. Yeah. 8 months in, 9 months.
It's all good.
We basically just wanted an excuse. We realized that we had so much fun. We didn't need to go to a club or whatever. We had so much fun just sitting around talking. We make each other laugh. We're like, okay, well, we love podcasts anyway. We also have Smodcast, one of Kevin Smith's podcasts, years ago, back when we were in college. We're like, this is amazing. Like, what? Yeah. We should be doing something like this. And we just never did. We talked about it, and every now and then it'll come up. It's like we should just probably do one. Like one person might find it funny, and it's just something fun to do. Yeah. And ultimately, it was just an excuse because I've got my partner and a dog now, and Aaron, one of the other guys, he's got a wife, a dog, and lives not too far from me, but he's got a life. And then Dan, the other guy, he's got a fiance and a cat.
Wow.
Lives in Manchester. So it's like it's difficult as you get older to kind of to find a way that's agreeable to meet up that you're not necessarily going to get in trouble for.
Yeah.
So this was a good way that we could kind of invite around each other's houses. And for the most part now, most of them have been on Zoom or Teams or whatever. Frustratingly, we much prefer doing it in person, but we were like, okay, well, we enjoy talking to ourselves and making each other laugh. That doesn't necessarily mean that other people will find it entertaining. Fine. But what can we do a podcast about? And every time we discussed it, we were like, okay, well, we're in a pub and we're drinking beer because that's our two favorite things.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just make it about that. Let's make it about beer. Let's review a beer. Now, it turns out none of us are particularly critical thinkers and none of us are particularly great at reviewing beers either. So the beer, we have a different beer every episode, but the beer review generally lasts for like within 5 minutes it's done. And then we'll try and have some sort of topic to kind of talk through. Sometimes it lasts longer than others. But then what we started doing as well is, the most original thing ever, we also do a D&D podcast every now and then.
Yeah.
D&D is not something I've ever really grown up with, but it's something that I've always found interesting.
Yeah. So
we've got a guy that is he's amazing, Neil. So every few months or so we'll do a D&D episode, and that tends to get the most listeners actually. Considering there's like a billion D&D podcasts on the in the world.
True.
That people still want more. So maybe we just do that. We still review a beer at the start, but so I don't know. Maybe the beer is what's bringing people back.
Yeah, maybe. I never got into D&D. It was something that was just never talked about. You know, like I didn't have friends that were into it. It's just like whenever I thought about doing something, it was like video games or going to play football or something like that. You know, I just never thought of D&D. And I actually have talked to a few people who have their own D&D podcasts, and I was like, explain it to me. And they're like, how much time do you have? Because, you know, because I guess, because like I said, I'm not very knowledgeable about it. And so it feels like when you say D&D, it's literally like, do you want to talk about the universe? Because there's so many different campaigns and different, you know, classes or whatever it is, you know, like there's just so much under the sun that you can talk about with it. And there's so many different avenues and all this stuff. And it's like, dang. So as briefly as possible, explain yours to me.
Okay. Imagine the nerdiest thing in the world.
Okay.
And then make it nerdier.
Oh gosh!
No, you know what? Because D&D is like massive in the States, I think, but it's not like I didn't know anyone that did it. The same as you, I didn't know anyone that did it growing up, and I'm not like a big D&D fan, but it's just so much fun to play. Basically, one guy has a story in mind. He's the dungeon master. Then you're a character. You tell him what you want to do, and you roll dice and see if it works or not. Dang. So like he'll give you the scenario. So you're walking through a forest, Daniel. Okay. You see a goblin fall from a tree. What do you want to do?
Kill it.
Okay. Roll dice. Okay, no, you got killed instead.
Oh, well, that sucks. All right. Gotta crack up another one.
It's like never playing this again. It's bullshit.
Exactly.
That's ultimately what D&D is. So I don't know if you're into I don't know, if you're into Lord of the Rings, you'll probably like it.
It's like an interactive story kind of thing, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You basically you should choose your own adventure, but without a book. Gotcha. Without the cheating of looking forward to see what the option is, then going back and changing your mind.
True. I have. I'm not sure how into the whole like Twitch or video game scene you are, but I watched this one guy. His name is Dr. Lupo, and he will sometimes do like a D&D thing. Like he's been doing it for a long time, and he has, you know, like his group, and I think it's maybe like once a month they come together and just kind of nerd out for a night. And so I've sometimes watched that just because I'm curious. Like I said, I just never got into it, so it doesn't necessarily like capture my attention, but I am also somewhat interested just to like understand it a little bit, because it is really big, you know. And like I'm a big fan of Stranger Things, and Stranger Things is, you know, pretty much D&D.
Huge, yeah.
And so I'll watch, you know, Dr. Lupo play a little bit, and it's so funny sometimes to see, because I remember one instance they were in this dungeon, and they're like, and the dungeon master's like, all right, so you kind of have to go through and whatever it was, you know, do the thing. And so I watched it a little bit longer, and they came up to like this goblin, and they're like, what do you want to do? And the guy's like, I want to kill it. So, you know, they kill it, and all of a sudden there's like 7 more that just come out of the darkness and attack them. And I was like, wait, what? Like that can happen? And it was really funny, and it was kind of interesting just to see how it goes.
Honestly, I love it so much now. I wish I could play it more often. Or I wish I was more into it. And people, if anyone listened to this that is actually into D&D, I've just butchered it, so I'm really sorry. Please, like, keep subscribing to Dan. But I was the same as you. I'm like a video game guy. Mm-hmm. I wish I was good enough to Twitch stream. I'm not. But I thought about making that my USP, actually. Just be like, watch me be shit at video games. And just like, give me stick. Yeah. But you heard of Dan Harmon?
I've heard of the name, but I haven't. Yeah, it rings a bell, yeah.
He's the one of the creative minds behind Rick and Morty. He did Community as well.
Oh, him. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He's big into his D&D, and he's got a show called Harmon Quest. And it's basically him and a few guys, and they sit around a table in front of a live audience and play D&D. But then afterwards, they go and animate it. And that really started to get sort of my brain ticking around it and getting me into it a little bit. So if you want to understand a little bit more, it's quite heavily edited because it's, I don't know, an hour like condensed down into 23 minutes.
Yeah.
But go and watch some Harmon Quest. That's real good.
Harmon Quest, right? I'll have to give that a look just to see. Interesting. Yeah. So you just mentioned you wanted to start Twitch and YouTube. Why not just do it?
Well, first of all, I'm cheap, so it's getting the stuff.
True. Yeah. Me too. I understand the pain.
So you know, especially now I'm in like lockdown and stuff. I do keep thinking about doing it, and just like, let's just. Well, the way I think about it, it's just another route to kind of plug other stuff. So the podcast of the band, so like, I'll just play the band's music over and over again while I do it. Yeah. But then I'll see my subscribers go down and down and down and down. My cousin, actually, I haven't spoken to in years, but apparently he's massive on Twitch. He makes loads of money, so I need to get in touch with him.
True. Yeah. The clout, bro. The clout.
You know? Yeah. So I might do. Do you do it?
So I used to. I actually did it for quite a while, and I really did enjoy it. I met some really cool people. One of the people that I met actually created the music that I use in this podcast. And so,
it's a cool tune, by the way.
Oh, thank you. He's also actually working on another tune for me, because what I want to do is I want to start another podcast called Learning with Dan, which talks to people who would be considered professionals, if you will, or people who might excel in different areas of whatever it is. And I kind of sit down and talk with them, maybe 30 minutes or something like that, depending on what the topic is, and just learn about it. You know, so let's just say, you were a professional in music making or something like that. You know, you say you're in a band, you're really good at mixing music. I would be like, so of course it'd be a little more conversational, but I'd be like, all right, tell me about it. I want to learn, just give me the information that I need to know if I wanted to do it, tell me the ins and the outs. And that's kind of what I want to do, just because like this is a little more, I kind of want to get to know you. It's really nice to have a conversation with someone from anywhere around the world, and just laugh a little bit, learn a little bit about you, maybe learn a new ideology, or, find out that I have a mortal enemy because you like Manchester United and I like Chelsea. But, like this is just a little more like for fun kind of thing. You can pick up some things here or there, but with Learning with Dan, I want to do a little bit more of, I want to actually legitimately learn about different
you want some
topics.
Free classes.
Yeah, free classes. That's probably the best way to put it. Or at least, trying to get more of an overview. Like one of the things that I tried to do for a while is when I did stream, I tried to do Tuesdays Learning with Dan, and it didn't really work out because it's kind of hard to play games or to try and make it interesting while you're just listening to someone blab on, like a YouTube video blab on about something. And so I was like, how can I do this? And so I was like, I could do a podcast about it. But I tried to do astrophysics. And I was like, I just want to understand that. And like when I watched it and listened to it, it did kind of make a little bit of sense. But I was like, I just want to get a basic overview of what it is. And so that's kind of the whole idea behind it. But I like I said, I did stream for a little bit. And I tried YouTube for a little bit. And I just didn't have the time to dedicate to each one. Nor was I creative enough to not just recycle stuff that people have already done. Like there's one thing in terms of trying to recycle an idea because you might be able to put your own spin on it. But it's one thing to literally just, like, for example, I try to make Destiny 2 videos about just like some of the secrets and stuff, which people were already doing. I got a lot of positive feedback about it, but there's only so much I can do when it comes to trying to help with secrets and stuff, because there's only, let's just say 10 secrets. Once I'm done with that, it's like, what do I do? Like, I'm not creative enough to try and figure, check out this new gun. And it's like, I can't do that, dude. Like, so, I mean, it's fun, and I do enjoy, the editing process and trying to create something that people can enjoy or at least learn from, because I'm a big learner. I love learning, and I want to try and reciprocate that to, try and help someone. But I just couldn't find the time, with my job, and my wife is now working, so when she gets home, I want to spend time with her. And then one of my outlets, to relax, is playing video games and talking with my brother, and everything, and just kind of hanging out. And so, I try and dedicate a lot of time to all that. And by the time I'm done, including, this podcast and all that, everything that comes from it, I just don't have an adequate amount of time to dedicate to, making videos or streaming or anything like that without just kind of being a bore or without doing something that isn't, like super entertaining. So I was like, I'm going to take a step back until I can maybe get my priorities straight a little bit. But it's fun. I do enjoy it. Like there's some awesome people that I've met. And I would highly encourage anyone to at least just give it a shot, try it. You don't have to have much experience or anything. It's just fun. You can meet some awesome people.
That was a much better excuse than my I'm cheap one. So can you please just copy and paste that?
yeah.
Over mine.
Yeah, for sure. I'll copy that whole thing.
I should have just said the wife. Like,
no, I mean, here's like, it's not like you don't need a lot of stuff to go for. Like, one of the things is like when I started, I didn't have a webcam. I just used a headset mic, and like people would still come because a lot of people will think, oh, you have to be good or you have to be funny. It's like, you just have to be a cool person, like that's how you start, like you don't have to do something crazy. You just have to be a cool person and have people, like somewhat interested in you, whether that be, like your accent or where you live or a football team or whatever it is, like that's just what you got to do. And then after that, you can start to develop stuff when people are like, hey, what about this? Because, a lot of people in my community brought me ideas and I took it and capitalized on it. So, it's just kind of starting, I guess. If you want to.
Convinced me. I really do. I just keep thinking about it just because I want money. That's all it is. I just want free money.
Oh my goodness. I would, if you do want to start though, I would suggest doing YouTube because you don't have to be live. That's probably the big thing. Yeah. A lot of people will be like, oh, I'm just going to stream on Twitch. And it's like, one, Twitch sucks when it comes to like being discovered. It's really, really hard. But with YouTube, the way that their algorithm works, I don't understand how it works, but the way that it does work is that you can have literally no viewers or no views, no subs, none of that, and it'll still push your content in front of other people. Cool. And so like you don't have to be live. You just have to put the video up and, kind of maybe do a little bit of research on when to put it up and, the demographics and stuff that you're trying to reach. But you put it up and you let it do its thing. As long as you're consistent, it'll keep pushing your videos in front or suggesting them and stuff. So it's fun. It's fun to learn and fun to do. So.
Yeah. Okay. That's my next big venture then. Done. You're not getting any money for it. You're not, I'm not crediting you with like the inspiration.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I mean, here's the thing, like and to be honest, like people don't make money for a long time, like I said, I've been doing Twitch for a while. I think I made like not trying to say, oh, I did this, but I think I made maybe $500 off of like the 2 years I was doing it. Just straight like subs and bits and all that stuff. So I mean, like
that's decent though. I mean, for doing something that you love, I mean, what
exactly. Amazing. Yeah. And I learned that even when I wasn't like, oh, I just want to do this for fun, like people reciprocated that well. So, it's a big fun time. It really is fun to grow a community and to, meet new people, and it's cool. I enjoy it. I would highly suggest anyone to at least give it a shot and try it and, just have fun making videos. So it could be about anything too.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got the time at the moment anyway.
Yeah.
Take the dog for a walk, put it to sleep, go play some Xbox.
Yeah.
Talk to the girlfriend.
What do you play?
What have I been playing? I'm a bit of a basic bitch, to be fair. I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty last few days. Yeah. I've been trying to get back into Outer Worlds.
Okay.
Which is, I got it ages. It came out last year, I'm sure, maybe even the year before.
I think so.
And you're like if anyone's not heard of it, you're like an alien. You're on this planet, and it's the end of the world, effectively.
Mm-hmm.
But when you die, time resets, so you come back where you started the game, effectively. So you're trying to figure out, and you can hop in a spaceship and like travel between different planets within your little solar system. And the ultimate idea is that you got to try and find out why the world's ending, like what's causing. I can't remember what it is. Maybe the sun to explode or something. The problem was, I got this game when it first came out a while ago because it's on Game Pass. It's free, amazing. Stopped playing it. Then it came up on the podcast the other week because Aaron started playing it. He's in love with it. So he's like, oh, you should play this game. I was like, oh, yeah, it was a pretty good game. Jumped on it the other day and was like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing, how to do it. So I'm just dying constantly.
Nice.
So I was playing that. And then I've, because time can be few and far between sometimes, like I might only get 5 or 10 minutes to have a quick go on the Xbox. And I'm the same as you. It's the way I relax, basically. It's like, I just want to chill out. So I've been playing 2 games just in my 5 to 10 minute spells. One of them is Rocket League, which I love.
Yeah.
But I'm awful at, but I love it. And the other one is one that I found on Game Pass again called Cluster Truck. And it's like a platforming game. It's first person. Basically, there's like 1 billion trucks barreling down the road. And there's a goal at the end where you have to try and get to. And you're just basically running on top of these trucks, but there's like obstacles and stuff. And again, it's one of those games you can kind of just jump in and out of.
Yeah.
It's not an amazing game, but it's just if you've got 5 minutes, you can go waste 5 minutes on there.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun. It really does.
I was really happy the other day. Have you ever played Celeste?
I did. I got it because it won like Indie Game of the Year or whatever. And I was like, I should give this a shot. And I'm not a big fan of that genre, but I did find that one to be very fun because the music was phenomenal.
The music's amazing. And the thing is, it's one of those games that you die constantly, but because it's so fast paced, as soon as you die, you're back alive at the start of the side of the screen. Yeah. You don't mind dying so much. I finally finished it the other day, and oh my God, I was so happy. Like, you don't know how many hours. It tells you like how many times you died like at the end of it, and it's like 1 billion effectively. Because I'm not good at it.
Nice.
Oh my God, it was like it made my year. If one thing, like I will say, like coronavirus is not good. It's not fun. But I've kind of enjoyed it, just having some time to myself.
Yeah, no, like that's something that I have said. Like, of course, it sucks that it's happened, and it sucks that people have, lost jobs and lost family members and friends and loved ones and all that. And like, that sucks, and I'm sorry for all of that. But at the same time, like it's been good in the sense that it's helping a lot of people, discover stuff that they might not have discovered because they have so much time on their hands. People have really got into video games, like with all the time, a lot of people have really grown YouTube channels or Twitch streams, and like they're using that as like their income. That's their job now, and they're really good at creating content. There are people who are really good at, now reviewing movies, or, like you can name almost anything for the most part. And like, because of the world that we live in, you're able to now do that. And I think that's kind of good. It's trying to find, the good in the awful situation, because of course it sucks, but it's almost like looking at the glass. This glass right here is about half full. You can either look at it as half full or half empty. And I'm trying to look at it in the more positive side, because it's not like anyone could have really done anything. People can blame, this person or that person for not doing whatever, or, blame these people. It's like, here's the thing, like, yeah, like they might be at fault, whatever, like who cares about that necessarily? But if it was happening and we didn't realize it soon enough, like it was bound to happen. It was bound to get to the point of where it is now. And so it's like, try and look at the goods, I guess is what I'm trying to say, the positive side. Yeah.
I've got one of my friends at work. He loves his job to bits and he's itching to get back to work. And I spoke to him last year, kind of midway through the first lockdown. I was like, Fred, you've got a 3-year-old daughter. So, no one knows who Fred is. It's fine.
Stupid Fred.
Fred, you got. I was like, basically, you are never like going to get this opportunity to spend this time with her ever again, because you work. It's in essence a fact of life. Yeah. No one gets this opportunity to spend this time with them. Just make the most of it. And like you say, it's making the glass half full. It's finding the silver in the cloud.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true. We need more people to kind of look at it that way. Like I said, of course it all sucks, and people want to get back to life and whatnot, but at the same time, your life is how it is now. So enjoy it, otherwise you're going to look back at the last probably 1.5 by the time this is all done, or 2 years or whenever it is. And they're going to be like, I just wasted all that time. That sucks. And it's like, no, like I've had fun playing video games and hang out with my wife and binge. Like my wife and I just recently finished the TV show The 100 because we had all this time and we just binged it, like there were 7 seasons and however many episodes there were, and we finished it in like a month, and it's like, we never would have been able to do that if we were both working, well, I mean, we do both work, but we've had more time because of the situation. But it's like, so many cool things can happen because of that. Just enjoy it.
Totally.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to ask you one more question, all right? One more question. This is the one that I really enjoy asking everyone because, like I said, earlier, I love to learn and everything. Learning is just something that's fun to me. I enjoy it. But what would be like a saying or like some advice or something like that you would like to pass down to someone that, you might have held on to for a long time, like a saying or something?
Mine kind of goes off what we were just talking about, actually. Well, in fact, no. First of all, you should never take my advice. So sorry to listen.
I'll just cut this part out.
Yeah. No, but mine is, as I say, goes off what we were saying, is to control the controllables. If you work as hard as you possibly can do, and something doesn't come off right, but you've done everything you can do, that's fine. Can you control it? If you can't control it, don't worry about it.
I like that. It's true. It's true. Especially with like I said earlier, like the world we live in, who would have thought? Like no one can really control that. It's going to happen.
It's come full circle, Dan.
Exactly.
We're doing this. This is what we do.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. That's good. I like that a lot. Sweet. Awesome.
Well, one beer and our profit. Oh my God.
I mean, hey, I do have some fat tires, so if you guys ever want to guess, I'd be more than happy to come on and I'll drink with you guys. We'll have a good time.
Absolutely.
That would be so much fun. Yeah, shoot me an email when we're done. We'll figure something out. But I want to say thanks, man, for doing this. This was really fun. We've been talking for a solid hour, and that's about the length that I like to keep these. So
I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much for having me on.
Yeah, there's so much fun. Thanks for opening up about yourself and, just kind of being you and not feeling like you have to put on a mask and everything and just being open. That's the best kind of conversation. Not to mention, I freaking love talking to people from England. Like, I don't know what it is, but I love England so much. And the people in there are just so kind. And almost every single person I've spoken to from England are just like saints compared to the people over here in America. So thank you so much for speaking with me and everything. Yeah, it's fun.
I've loved it. Thank you very much, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course. Real quick, and I know we already talked about it, but do you want to shout out any of your socials and anything podcast-wise for people to go listen to?
Yeah, let me do my due diligence. If someone wants to find me for some reason, I am at Real Liam Downey, which is DOWNEY. If you want to follow the podcast, it's Let's Talk About Nothing on all your podcast channels, or you can find us on Twitter at LTANpod. Or the best thing is the music, really. They're the superstars, not me, the rest of the guys. I do the easy stuff. But they are Young Decades, at Young Decades, youngdecades.com. Any of them, come find us, come chat to us.
Gotcha. Because my keyboard died, so Young Decades. Ayo, I found you, nerds. Ayo. Wow, you guys have a pretty good listener base, at least on Spotify.
Yeah, we only started. We released the first song back in August. We started last year.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, we were full on COVID. We had another project before, but then at the start of last year, we were like, okay, well, let's work on something new. Launched it in August, and yeah, the reception's been really, really good. So thank you to all
impressed.
The listens. Oh, we're going to talk. Sorry, I know we want to finish. But
no,
about,
please.
like royalties and stuff. The best thing. So you don't make a lot of money as a musician, and certainly not until you're signed.
Yeah.
However, every 6 months or yearly, I can't really remember, you get a invoice in the post from PRS, which is like the governing body. If you go into a shop and they're playing music, it's because they got a PRS license. Mm-hmm. So anytime your music's played anywhere, it gets ticked off. You get a little bit of money for it, a little bit of a kickback. Statement we got last year comes, and we're equal shares really. So we're like, okay, well, what did you get? Oh, it's this much. Oh yeah, same. Generally speaking, what happens. And I'm here, I'm like, listening to the other guys, I'm like, I actually got a little bit more this time around. I'm like, why? And it turns out, supposedly, for no reason that I'm aware of, but I'm the 50% owner, co-writer of some song called Pay Attention to Me, which apparently is the most me song title ever, which is a massive hit in Germany. It may be I'll say massive. It may be like 50 quid, but for me money, that's well good. So
that's so good.
But I feel really bad because apparently there's some German Liam Downey over there who's getting paid jack shit, whereas I'm taking all his millions. So yeah. Oh my gosh. So people, awesome. Please find this song and go listen to Pay Attention to Me as well, please, and earn me some more money.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Oh my goodness, I love listening to music that is popular in other countries because it's always so much better than the garbage that we get over here in the States. So. Wow, Young Decade, and I'm looking at your about section. You guys are rock, yeah?
Yeah, think it's kind of like synthy rock. So Killers is a good way to come from. If you're a fan of the Killers, you'll probably come to us. In fact, my usual tagline is, Dan, who's your favorite band?
I would have to say my favorite band would have to be, I'll say Rise Against for now because I haven't really thought about it in a while, but my favorite artist would be John Mayer.
That's so strange. We sound like both of them. Like, exactly, that's our sound.
Seriously.
So yeah, if you like John Mayer or Rise Against, then you will love Young Decade. That's a lie. That's my go-to line.
Okay. I love that, dude. I love that. Awesome.
Tends to work. No, if you find anything like the Killers or anything like that, sort of synthy, Future Islands, you'll probably like it.
Gotcha. I'm going to start listening to you as soon as we're done because I want to give it a shot. I love that. Awesome. Sweet. Well, thanks again, man, for doing this. I'm really bad at ending stuff. Like, if anyone's listened to an episode and they get to the end and they're like, Dan, just end it. I can't ever end it. I'm really bad at it. And this is a prime example. But thanks. Thanks for talking and chatting, dude. I'm excited to see, if you actually start, doing some videos and some stuff like that. Like, that'd be cool. I'll be there. I'll be there from the start and help you out if I can.
So my first sub.
Yeah, first one, that'll be me. Just remember, if there's someone else there that subbed before me, no, that's not true, all right? I'm going to be the first, all right? I'm going to be the sole stake investor for the first little bit.
Before I upload, I'll be like, Dan, I'm going to upload now. And then
I got it. All right. I got it. Awesome, dude. Well, thanks again. I want to say Manchester United sucks. I don't know why you support them. So you should really stop because they're not good. Chelsea is much better. So if anyone's listening, please go support Chelsea, not Man U, because Man U is dog crap. They've been bad since Ferguson left. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not good. He needs to be sacked, and I can tell by your face that you don't like that. So it was fun talking with you, man. I hope you have a great night.
Dan, I was going to say something really nice to sign off, but actually I think you should start this other podcast because you need to learn a thing or two about football.
True, dude. True. Awesome. Well, thanks again, man, and thanks for just hanging out and chilling. This was fun. I had a great time.
Definitely. I'll catch you in a bit, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, of course. Take it easy.
Bye.
Peace. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Across the Pond. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to connect with me, you can find me on Twitter at KingServant, and that's KINGSSERVANT. You can also find the audio version on YouTube. There's no video, just audio. You can type in the search bar Across the Pond. You'll find us with the picture of the lily pad. If you want to support us monetarily, you can find us on Patreon. Each tier has its own rewards, so please check that out if you want to throw some money my way, but please don't feel like you have to. I do this because I thoroughly enjoy it. I don't do this for money. If you know someone that would love to be on the show, go ahead and send them my email, acrossthepondpod01@gmail.com, and that's it. That's all you got to do. After that, I got to do all the hard work. But I would appreciate it if you could spread the word a little bit. Tell your friends, tell your family, say, hey, I found this really cool podcast that I think you'll like. The host talks to people from all around the world about anything. Tune in next Sunday and every other Thursday for another awesome episode of Across the Pond.